There are moments in life when heaven speaks with such clarity that the soul trembles in recognition, and tonight is one of those sacred moments. This is not coincidence. This is not chance. You did not find this message by accident. God is saying to you, you are chosen, but you keep doubting. And tonight, before the clock reaches 11:55 p.m., He will prove it to you. Feel the weight of those words. Let them settle into your spirit. The urgency you sense is not pressure. It is divine timing. It is the whisper of eternity reaching into this very hour, calling your name with purpose, authority, and love. From the beginning of your journey, you have felt different. Perhaps you could never fully explain it, yet deep within, there has always been a quiet awareness that your life was meant for something more. You have endured trials that others could not understand, walked through seasons of silence, and carried burdens that seemed too heavy for your shoulders. Still, you survived. Still, you were protected. Still, you were guided. These were not coincidences. They were signs, subtle, sacred, and unmistakable, marking you as one of the chosen. Yet despite the evidence, doubt has followed you like a shadow, whispering that you are unworthy, unprepared, or unseen. Tonight, God speaks directly to that doubt, not to condemn you, but to reveal the truth you have long struggled to accept. There is a divine significance to this very hour. As the world moves toward midnight, heaven draws near with a message meant only for those appointed to hear it. Before 11:55 p.m., a revelation awaits, one that will stir your spirit and awaken your faith. This is a sacred appointment written not by human hands but by divine authority. Time itself becomes a vessel of God's intention, aligning circumstances, emotions, and understanding so that you may receive what has always belonged to you, confirmation of your chosenness. Do not dismiss the urgency you feel. It is not anxiety, it is anticipation. It is the gentle yet powerful stirring of the Holy Spirit, urging you to open your heart and receive what is about to unfold. You may wonder why the chosen often wrestle with doubt. It is a mystery that has echoed through generations. Those called by God are rarely confident in their own strength, for their purpose is not rooted in human ability, but in divine power. Doubt does not disqualify you. It reveals the magnitude of your calling. The enemy whispers uncertainty precisely because he recognizes what you have not yet fully embraced. He knows the impact your life will have, the light you will carry, and the transformation you will bring to others. Yet God's voice rises above every whisper of fear, declaring with unwavering authority, you are chosen. Tonight, He promises to prove it, not through coincidence but through revelation, peace, and unmistakable confirmation. Consider the path that has led you here. How many times have you narrowly escaped danger, found unexpected strength, or received guidance in moments of confusion? How often have doors opened when none seemed possible, or hope appeared just when you were ready to surrender? These are not random events. They are divine fingerprints upon your life, evidence of a purpose carefully designed and lovingly protected. Even in your moments of weakness, when doubt clouded your vision and fear threatened your faith, God remained faithful. He watched over you, preserved you, and guided you toward this very moment where truth and revelation meet. Tonight is not merely another night. It is a turning point. The hours leading to 11:55 p.m. carry a sacred significance, a threshold between uncertainty and assurance, between doubt and destiny. Heaven is preparing to unveil what your spirit has long sensed but your mind has questioned. This message is your invitation to step into alignment with God's will, to release the weight of uncertainty, and to embrace the identity He has already spoken over you. You are not here by accident. You are here because God has called you, chosen you, and appointed you for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. As you listen, allow your heart to be still. Let every distraction fade, and open yourself to the presence of the divine. There is a reason you were guided to this message at this exact moment. It is not merely information, it is confirmation. God is speaking directly to you, reminding you that your doubts do not define you, your fears do not limit you, and your past does not disqualify you. Instead, they have prepared you, refined you, and positioned you for the revelation that is about to unfold. Before 11:55 p.m., the proof you seek will touch your spirit, bringing clarity, peace, and an unshakable assurance that you are, and always have been, chosen. So take a deep breath and receive this moment with reverence. Heaven is near. The voice of God is speaking, and His message is clear. You are chosen, but you keep doubting. Tonight He will prove it to you. Do not ignore the urgency, for this is your appointed time. The clock is moving, and with each passing minute, you draw closer to a revelation that will change everything. There is a quiet battle that takes place within the hearts of the chosen, a battle so subtle that it often goes unnoticed, yet so powerful that it shapes the course of destiny. It is the battle between the whisper of doubt and the call of divine purpose. You have felt it, haven't you? A gentle but persistent voice questioning your worth, your readiness, and your significance. It speaks in moments of silence, in seasons of waiting, and in times when you stand on the threshold of something greater. It tells you that you are not enough, that you are unqualified, that you are unseen. But tonight, God is speaking louder than that whisper. He is reminding you that doubt may visit the chosen, but it can never silence the call of destiny. From the earliest days of your life, there have been signs, moments that set you apart, experiences that shaped you in ways you could not fully understand. You may have felt different, set apart, or even misunderstood by those around you. There were times when you questioned why your path seemed harder, why your burdens felt heavier, and why your journey was marked by trials others did not face. Yet these challenges were never meant to break you. They were designed to prepare you. The chosen are often forged in the fire of adversity, refined through seasons of testing, and strengthened by battles that reveal the depth of their faith. What you perceive as setbacks were, in truth, divine preparations for a destiny written long before you took your first breath. Doubt, however, has a way of disguising itself as reason. It whispers that you must wait until you are stronger, wiser, or more capable before stepping into your purpose. It convinces you that your imperfections disqualify you, that your past defines you, and that your fears are evidence of your inadequacy. But the truth is far greater than these lies. God does not choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. Your uncertainties do not diminish your calling. They magnify the power of the one who has called you. Tonight, before 11:55 p.m., heaven draws near to remind you that your destiny is not determined by your doubts but by the unwavering promise of God. Throughout history, those chosen by God have wrestled with uncertainty, yet their stories stand as testimonies of divine faithfulness. They were ordinary people entrusted with extraordinary assignments, individuals who questioned their abilities yet obeyed the voice of God. Their journeys were not defined by perfection, but by obedience, not by confidence in themselves, but by faith in the one who called them. In the same way, your doubts do not disqualify you. They reveal the depth of your humanity and the greatness of God's grace. Each moment of hesitation has only highlighted the magnitude of your calling, reminding you that your strength comes not from within but from above. Consider how often you have felt the gentle pull of purpose, an inner stirring that urged you toward something greater. Perhaps you tried to ignore it, dismissing it as imagination or coincidence. Yet it returned, persistent and unwavering, like a quiet echo of eternity calling your name. That call has followed you through seasons of uncertainty, guiding you even when you could not see the path ahead. It has comforted you in moments of loneliness, strengthened you in times of weakness, and reminded you that your life carries a significance far beyond what you can comprehend. This is the call of destiny, a divine invitation that cannot be silenced by doubt or diminished by fear. As the clock moves closer to 11:55 p.m., the urgency of this message grows stronger. This is not merely a reminder, it is a divine awakening. God is reaching into this moment to reassure you that you have not been overlooked, forgotten, or abandoned. You are seen. You are known. You are chosen. The whisper of doubt may have followed you for years, but tonight it will be overshadowed by the undeniable presence of God. He is preparing to reveal the proof your heart has longed for, a confirmation that will silence every fear and strengthen your faith. Now, as you receive this message, you become part of something greater than yourself, a movement of faith, hope, and divine revelation. If these words are stirring your spirit and awakening your faith, take a moment to respond. Like this message to affirm your agreement with God's calling over your life. Share it with someone who may be struggling with doubt, so they too can receive the reassurance they need. Leave a comment declaring, "I am chosen," and allow your testimony to encourage others around the world. And if you have not already done so, subscribe to this channel and join a community dedicated to spreading God's word, prophetic insight, and spiritual encouragement. Your engagement not only strengthens your own faith, but also becomes a beacon of light for others seeking truth and guidance. Remember, your response is not merely an action, it is an act of faith. Each like, each share, each comment becomes a declaration that you are stepping into your divine identity and embracing the purpose God has placed within you. Together, we are building a community united by faith, inspired by prophecy, and guided by the voice of God. As you continue listening, open your heart to what heaven is about to reveal, for the call of destiny is rising above every whisper of doubt. Tonight, before 11:55 p.m., God will prove what He has spoken over your life. You are chosen. There are signs woven into the fabric of your life, quiet, profound markers that reveal a truth far greater than circumstance. Long before you were aware of your purpose, heaven had already declared your identity. You were chosen before you were born. This is not poetry or metaphor, it is divine reality. From your earliest days, something within you felt different, as though your spirit carried a memory of a calling you could not yet name. You sensed it in moments of solitude, in dreams that stirred your heart, and in the unexplainable feeling that your life was guided by an unseen hand. Perhaps you have often wondered why your journey has been unlike that of others. While many walk paths of ease, yours seemed marked by challenges that tested your strength and stretched your faith. You endured trials that refined you, setbacks that redirected you, and moments of isolation that shaped your inner world. Yet, despite every storm, you remained standing. There were times when you felt you should have fallen, but somehow you were preserved. Doors opened when they should have remained closed. Protection appeared in unexpected ways, and help arrived at the precise moment you needed it most. These were not coincidences. They were divine interventions, evidence that your life has always been under the watchful care of God. Another sign of the chosen is a deep sensitivity to the spiritual realm. You may have felt drawn to prayer, reflection, or a desire to understand God's voice more intimately. Even when you strayed or doubted, something within you always led you back. It was as if your spirit recognized its creator, yearning for alignment with His will. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is a sacred gift. It is the mark of a heart set apart, attuned to divine whispers, and prepared for purpose that extends beyond the ordinary. You may also have experienced seasons of feeling misunderstood or out of place, as though you did not fully belong in the environments around you. This sense of separation often accompanies those chosen for a higher calling. It is not rejection. It is preparation. God sometimes allows His chosen ones to walk paths of solitude so they may hear His voice without distraction. In those quiet moments, He shapes their character, strengthens their faith, and prepares them to carry light into places overshadowed by darkness. What once felt like loneliness was, in truth, a sacred invitation into deeper intimacy with the divine. Consider the recurring patterns in your life. Moments when you felt an unexplainable pull toward something greater, a purpose just beyond your grasp. Perhaps you have sensed a calling to encourage others, to bring hope where there is despair, or to speak truth where there is confusion. These inclinations are not random desires. They are seeds planted by God Himself. Even your struggles have served a purpose, equipping you with compassion, resilience, and wisdom. The very battles you fought were not meant to destroy you, but to prepare you for the assignment written upon your soul. Another undeniable sign of the chosen is divine protection. Reflect on the times when you narrowly escaped danger or overcame circumstances that should have overwhelmed you. There were moments when you did not understand how you survived it, yet you emerged stronger, wiser, and more aware of God's presence. These experiences were not mere chance. They were evidence of a divine covering, a testament to the fact that your life has always been guarded by heaven's hand. God does not protect without purpose. You may have also felt an unshakable inner knowing, an awareness that your life carries meaning beyond what you can see. Even in your moments of doubt, a quiet voice within has reminded you that you are here for a reason. That voice is not imagination. It is the echo of God's promise spoken over you before time began. It is the assurance that your existence is intentional, your journey is guided, and your destiny is secure. Tonight, as the clock moves closer to 11:55 p.m., these signs take on a new significance. What once seemed like scattered fragments of experience now come together as a divine tapestry, revealing the truth you have long questioned. You were chosen before you were born. Every challenge, every triumph, every moment of uncertainty has led you to this sacred hour. Heaven is aligning to reveal what your heart has always sensed. You are not ordinary, and your life is not accidental. You are chosen. Receive this truth with reverence and humility. Let it replace every whisper of doubt with a quiet confidence rooted in God's promise. You are not defined by your fears, your past, or your uncertainties. You are defined by the one who called you, formed you, and appointed you for His purpose. Tonight, as divine confirmation draws near, open your heart and embrace the identity that heaven has spoken over you since the beginning. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if this resonates with you. Lesson code 444 is now activated. And as you reflect on these sacred truths, remember this: the next revelation will illuminate why your doubts were allowed and how they were shaping your destiny all along. You'll be glad you stayed for what's about to be revealed. As this revelation confirms that you were chosen before you were born, you now have the opportunity to help others hear the same divine call. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become a vessel through which God's light reaches countless souls. The Lord declares, "Give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over." And tonight, this promise is alive and speaking directly to you. I invite you to stand with this prophetic movement, and help carry this message to those still searching for hope. Your seed becomes a river of blessing, igniting faith, opening hearts, and preparing the harvest. As you give, may the heavens open over your life, releasing favor, protection, and divine increase. Let your obedience become a prophetic act. So now, through super thanks, join as a member or give through the PayPal link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Step forward in faith and release your seed today. There is a sacred paradox that often surrounds those whom God has chosen. The deeper the calling, the stronger the presence of doubt. You may have wondered why uncertainty has followed you so persistently, why hesitation has shadowed your steps even when your heart sensed a divine purpose. This struggle is not a sign of weakness, nor is it evidence that you are unworthy. Instead, it is a spiritual reality faced by many who have been set apart for a higher calling. The chosen are not immune to doubt. They are often its primary targets. Yet within this struggle lies a profound truth. Doubt does not disqualify you from God's plan. It reveals the magnitude of the destiny you carry. From the beginning, spiritual warfare has sought to silence those appointed for divine assignments. Doubt is one of the enemy's most subtle and effective weapons. It does not shout, it whispers. It questions your worth, magnifies your imperfections, and distorts your perception of God's promises. It tells you that you are not ready, not capable, and not deserving. But these whispers are not rooted in truth. They are attempts to distract and discourage you from stepping into your purpose. The enemy recognizes the light within you and fears the impact of your obedience. That is why doubt has followed you, not because you are insignificant, but because your calling carries power. Consider the emotional wounds you have carried throughout your life. Rejection, disappointment, and moments of failure have left impressions upon your heart, shaping your perception of yourself and your potential. Perhaps there were voices that underestimated you or circumstances that caused you to question your worth. These experiences, though painful, did not diminish your calling, they refined it. God often uses seasons of hardship to mold His chosen, shaping their character, strengthening their faith, and preparing them for the responsibilities ahead. What once felt like obstacles were, in truth, instruments of preparation, forging resilience and humility within your spirit. Doubt also arises from seasons of divine silence. There are times when God seems distant, when prayers feel unanswered, and when clarity appears elusive. In these moments, it is natural to question whether you have misunderstood His calling or imagined His voice. Yet silence does not signify absence. Often, God works most profoundly in the unseen, orchestrating circumstances and aligning events beyond your understanding. Just as a seed grows in the darkness before it breaks through the soil, so too does your destiny unfold in hidden places. The silence you have endured was not abandonment, it was preparation. It was the quiet unfolding of a purpose too sacred to be rushed. Another reason the chosen struggle with doubt is the weight of responsibility that accompanies divine purpose. Deep within your spirit, you may sense the significance of your calling, even if you cannot fully comprehend it. This awareness can feel overwhelming, stirring feelings of inadequacy and fear. You may wonder if you are capable of fulfilling what God has entrusted to you. Yet it is precisely this humility that makes you worthy of the calling. God does not seek perfection. He seeks obedience. He does not require flawless strength, but a willing heart. Your awareness of your limitations does not hinder His work. It invites His power to manifest through you. Throughout history, those chosen by God have experienced similar struggles. They wrestled with uncertainty, questioned their abilities, and sought reassurance in moments of doubt. Their stories remind us that doubt is not a sign of failure but a natural response to the enormity of divine purpose. It is the tension between human frailty and divine calling, a reminder that God's strength is perfected in weakness. In your moments of uncertainty, you are not alone. You stand among a lineage of individuals who doubted, yet ultimately trusted, and whose obedience transformed the course of history. It is also important to understand that doubt often emerges during seasons of transition. Whenever God prepares to elevate His chosen, resistance intensifies. New opportunities, unexpected changes, and unfamiliar paths can evoke uncertainty and fear. You may find yourself questioning whether you are ready to step forward or whether you possess the strength to embrace what lies ahead. These feelings are not signs of inadequacy. They are indicators of growth. Transition is the threshold between preparation and fulfillment, a sacred space where faith is tested and strengthened. Your doubt is not a barrier. It is a bridge leading you toward greater clarity and purpose. Tonight, as the hours move steadily toward 11:55 p.m., recognize that your doubt has never been your enemy. It has been a catalyst for deeper faith. Each question you have asked, each moment of hesitation you have faced, has drawn you closer to God's reassurance. Doubt has humbled you, refined you, and prepared you to receive the revelation that is about to unfold. It has taught you to rely not on your own understanding but on the unwavering promise of the one who called you. Far from disqualifying you, your struggles have positioned you to experience the fullness of His grace and the certainty of His confirmation. Release the burden of uncertainty and embrace the truth that God's calling is irrevocable. You were chosen not because of your strength but because of His purpose. Your doubts do not diminish your destiny. They illuminate the path toward deeper trust and unwavering faith. Tonight, heaven draws near to remind you that you are seen, known, and appointed for a divine assignment. The whispers of doubt may have followed you for years, but they cannot silence the voice of God. As you continue this journey, open your heart to the revelation that awaits, for every question you have carried is about to be answered, and every uncertainty is about to give way to divine assurance. There are moments when heaven aligns with earth in ways so precise and intentional that they cannot be explained by coincidence. Tonight is one of those sacred moments. This is not merely another evening passing quietly into the night. It is a divinely appointed hour, set apart for revelation and confirmation. God is saying, "You are chosen, but you keep doubting, and tonight, before 11:55 p.m., He will prove it to you." The urgency you feel is not accidental. It is the stirring of divine timing, an invitation to witness the unfolding of a promise written long before this moment arrived. Divine timing operates beyond human understanding. It is not bound by calendars, clocks, or circumstances, yet it often manifests through them. Throughout Scripture and history, God has used specific moments to reveal His power, confirm His promises, and redirect the paths of those He has chosen. These moments arrive unexpectedly yet carry an unmistakable sense of purpose. They awaken the spirit, stir the heart, and draw the soul into alignment with heaven's will. Tonight stands as such a moment, a sacred intersection where doubt meets assurance and where uncertainty gives way to revelation. You may wonder why this particular time matters, why the approach of 11:55 p.m. carries such spiritual significance. In the language of the Spirit, midnight represents transition, the threshold between what has been and what is about to unfold. It is a moment when old burdens are released and new beginnings emerge. The minutes leading up to midnight symbolize preparation, a sacred pause before transformation. As the clock approaches 11:55 p.m., you stand on the edge of a divine transition, a moment chosen by God to confirm your identity and silence every whisper of doubt that has followed you. Throughout your life, God's timing has guided your journey, even when you did not recognize it. There were delays that frustrated you, detours that confused you, and seasons of waiting that tested your faith. Yet, in hindsight, you can see how each moment unfolded with divine precision. Doors opened at the right time, opportunities appeared when you were prepared to receive them, and protection surrounded you when you were unaware of the dangers you faced. These were not coincidences. They were manifestations of divine timing, evidence that God has always been orchestrating your path with wisdom and love. Tonight is a continuation of that divine orchestration. It is not random that you are hearing this message now, nor is it accidental that your spirit feels stirred by its urgency. You have been led to this moment by the gentle hand of providence, guided step by step toward a revelation that will confirm what your heart has long sensed. Before 11:55 p.m., heaven will draw near in a way that is personal, undeniable, and deeply meaningful. It may come through a sudden sense of peace, an unexpected sign, a dream, a message, or a quiet yet powerful assurance within your spirit. However it arrives, you will recognize it, for it will resonate with truth and bring clarity where doubt once resided. Divine timing often requires faith and readiness. Just as a seed must be planted and nurtured before it bears fruit, so too must the heart be prepared to receive God's confirmation. This moment invites you to pause, reflect, and align yourself with His presence. Release distractions, quiet your mind, and open your spirit to what is about to unfold. You are not merely waiting for a sign. You are stepping into a sacred appointment. Tonight is a reminder that God's promises are never forgotten, and His plans are never delayed beyond their perfect time. There is also a deeper symbolism in this appointed hour. As the day transitions into night and the world grows still, the noise of distraction fades, creating space for divine revelation. It is in these quiet moments that God often speaks most clearly, when the heart is receptive and the spirit is attentive. The approach of 11:55 p.m. serves as a reminder that transformation is near, that a new chapter is about to begin, and that what once seemed uncertain is about to be illuminated by divine truth. This is a threshold moment, a sacred crossing from doubt into assurance, from hesitation into confidence, and from questioning into knowing. Perhaps you have felt the weight of waiting, the tension of anticipation, and the longing for confirmation that your life carries divine purpose. Tonight answers that longing. It is a divine response to every prayer whispered in uncertainty, every tear shed in confusion, and every hope held in quiet faith. God has heard you. He has seen you. He has not forgotten you. This moment, chosen with divine precision, stands as proof that your journey has been guided by His hand from the very beginning. As the minutes pass and the clock draws closer to 11:55 p.m., allow your heart to embrace the significance of this sacred hour. Let go of every doubt that has burdened your spirit and step into the assurance of God's promise. This is not a moment of fear or anxiety, but one of anticipation and faith. Heaven is preparing to reveal what has always been true, that you are chosen, called, and appointed for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Tonight matters because it is a divine appointment, a sacred alignment between heaven and earth, and a personal confirmation of God's promise over your life. It is a reminder that His timing is perfect, His plans are intentional, and His love is unwavering. Before 11:55 p.m., the proof you seek will unfold, bringing clarity, peace, and an unshakable assurance that you are, and always have been, chosen. Stand ready, remain faithful, and open your heart to receive what heaven is about to reveal. Throughout history, God has consistently chosen individuals who wrestled with uncertainty, proving that doubt does not disqualify the chosen. It prepares them. If you have ever questioned your worth, hesitated before stepping into your purpose, or wondered whether you were truly called, take heart. The pages of Scripture reveal a powerful and comforting truth. Those whom God appoints often begin their journey with fear and hesitation. Their stories are not tales of perfection but testimonies of divine grace, demonstrating that God's power is revealed most clearly through human weakness. Tonight, as you draw closer to 11:55 p.m., these sacred accounts stand as undeniable proof that God chooses the doubtful to accomplish extraordinary purposes. Consider Moses, a man whose name echoes through generations as a symbol of divine deliverance. When God called him from the burning bush to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses did not respond with confidence. Instead, he questioned his ability, expressing fear and insecurity. He doubted his worthiness and his capacity to speak, pleading with God to send someone else. Yet God did not withdraw his calling. Instead, he reassured Moses of his presence, declaring that he would be with him and empower him to fulfill his mission. Moses' hesitation did not cancel his destiny. It magnified the glory of God's power. Through a reluctant shepherd, God performed miracles, parted seas, and led a nation to freedom. His story reminds you that your doubts do not diminish your calling. They create space for God's strength to be revealed through you. Then there is Gideon, a man chosen during a time of fear and oppression. When the angel of the Lord appeared to him, Gideon was hiding, threshing wheat in secret to avoid the Midianites. He saw himself as the weakest in his family and doubted the possibility of being used by God. Yet the angel addressed him with a powerful declaration, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon struggled to believe this identity, asking God for signs to confirm his calling. Remarkably, God responded with patience and compassion, providing reassurance through miraculous confirmations. Gideon's story reveals a profound truth. God does not condemn honest doubt. He transforms it into faith. The very man who questioned his calling became a victorious leader, proving that divine selection is not based on human confidence but on God's sovereign purpose. Reflect also on Jeremiah, who was called to be a prophet while still young. Overwhelmed by the magnitude of his assignment, Jeremiah protested, saying he was too young and incapable of speaking. Yet God's response was unwavering. "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Before you were born I set you apart." These words carry eternal significance, echoing the same truth spoken over your life. Jeremiah's hesitation did not deter God's plan. Instead, God strengthened him, placing his words upon the prophet's lips and empowering him to deliver messages that would shape generations. Jeremiah's journey illustrates that God's calling precedes human understanding and that his purpose is established long before doubt ever takes root. Consider also Jonah, whose doubt manifested not as fear but as resistance. When God commanded him to go to Nineveh, Jonah fled, overwhelmed by uncertainty and unwillingness. Yet even in his disobedience, God pursued him with relentless grace. Through the storm and the great fish, Jonah was redirected toward his divine assignment. His story demonstrates that God's calling is not easily abandoned. It endures despite hesitation and resistance. Even when the chosen attempt to flee, divine purpose remains steadfast, guiding them back to the path prepared for them. Another powerful example is found in the life of Peter, a fisherman chosen to become a pillar of faith. Though devoted, Peter wrestled with doubt and fear. In a moment of crisis, he denied knowing Jesus 3 times, overcome by uncertainty and pressure. Yet his failure did not define him. After the resurrection, Jesus restored Peter with compassion and entrusted him with the responsibility of leading others. Filled with courage and conviction, Peter went on to proclaim the gospel with boldness, becoming a foundational leader of the early church. His transformation reveals a profound truth. God's grace redeems doubt and failure, turning weakness into strength and fear into unwavering faith. These stories are not distant relics of the past. They are living testimonies meant to encourage and strengthen you today. Each account reveals a consistent pattern. God chooses those who doubt, not to expose their weakness, but to reveal His glory through their obedience. Moses, Gideon, Jeremiah, Jonah, and Peter all wrestled with uncertainty, yet their lives were transformed by divine calling. Their journeys stand as mirrors reflecting your own, reminding you that doubt does not disqualify you from God's purpose. Instead, it positions you to experience His faithfulness in a deeply personal and transformative way. As you reflect on these sacred testimonies, recognize the thread that binds them together: God's unwavering commitment to those He has chosen. He does not abandon them in their moments of hesitation, nor does He withdraw His calling when they falter. Instead, He reassures, strengthens, and equips them, guiding them toward the fulfillment of their destiny. The same God who spoke to Moses from the burning bush, who called Gideon a mighty warrior, who consecrated Jeremiah before his birth, who pursued Jonah through the storm, and who restored Peter after his denial, is speaking to you tonight. His message remains unchanged: you are chosen. As the clock draws nearer to 11:55 p.m., let these biblical truths anchor your faith and quiet every whisper of doubt. You are not alone in your hesitation, and you are not unworthy of your calling. Like those who came before you, you have been selected for a purpose greater than you can imagine. Your doubts do not diminish God's plan. They magnify His power and reveal His grace. Tonight, heaven prepares to confirm what Scripture has declared for generations: that God chooses the doubtful, equips the uncertain, and empowers the chosen. Receive this truth with humility and faith, knowing that the same divine hand that guided them is guiding you now, leading you toward the revelation that awaits before 11:55 p.m. As the clock steadily approaches 11:55 p.m., a sacred anticipation begins to rise within your spirit. This is not ordinary expectation. It is divine awareness, the quiet knowing that something meaningful is about to unfold. God has spoken, declaring, "You are chosen," but you keep doubting, and tonight, He is preparing to prove it to you. The proof you seek is not rooted in coincidence or human reasoning, but in divine revelation, personal, undeniable, and deeply transformative. Heaven is drawing near, and what is about to be revealed will resonate within your soul with clarity and peace. God often confirms His chosen through signs that align perfectly with their circumstances and spiritual journey. These confirmations are rarely loud or dramatic. Instead, they arrive with a quiet certainty that settles deep within the heart. It may come as an unexpected message that speaks directly to your situation, a dream that carries profound meaning, or a moment of peace that surpasses understanding. You may encounter a scripture, a conversation, or a sudden insight that feels unmistakably personal, as though heaven itself is speaking directly to you. These are not coincidences. They are divine fingerprints, carefully placed along your path to affirm your calling and silence your doubts. Throughout your life, you may have already experienced glimpses of this divine confirmation. There were moments when clarity arrived just when confusion threatened to overwhelm you, times when hope emerged unexpectedly, and seasons when doors opened in ways you could not have orchestrated. Perhaps you sensed a guiding presence during moments of uncertainty, or you felt an unexplainable peace in the midst of chaos. These experiences were not random occurrences. They were gentle reminders of God's presence and purpose in your life. Tonight, those scattered moments will converge into a greater revelation, affirming what your heart has long suspected: you are chosen. Divine proof often reveals itself through alignment. When God confirms His calling, circumstances begin to align in ways that defy explanation. You may notice repeated patterns, recurring themes, or meaningful connections that point unmistakably toward your purpose. Opportunities may arise that resonate deeply with your gifts and passions, and guidance may appear precisely when you need it most. This alignment is not accidental. It is the orchestration of heaven, a testament to God's sovereignty and His unwavering commitment to those He has chosen. As you remain attentive and receptive, you will begin to recognize these divine patterns unfolding before your eyes. Another form of divine confirmation is the gift of peace. True proof of God's calling is often accompanied by a profound sense of assurance that transcends fear and uncertainty. This peace does not depend on external circumstances. It emerges from within, settling gently upon your spirit like a comforting embrace. It quiets the noise of doubt and replaces confusion with clarity, reminding you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. When this peace arrives, you will recognize it instantly, for it carries the unmistakable presence of God. Tonight, as heaven prepares to reveal its proof, be attentive to this sacred assurance, for it is one of the clearest signs of divine confirmation. God may also reveal His proof through unexpected encounters and timely messages. A conversation, a sermon, or even a simple word of encouragement may speak directly to your heart, addressing questions you have never voiced aloud. You may encounter guidance that aligns so precisely with your journey that it feels orchestrated by divine intention. These moments serve as gentle affirmations, reminding you that you are seen, known, and guided by a loving Creator who has never lost sight of your purpose. As you remain open to these encounters, you will begin to recognize them as divine confirmations rather than mere coincidences. Dreams and spiritual impressions may also serve as vessels of revelation. Throughout Scripture, God has often communicated with His chosen through visions and dreams, offering guidance, reassurance, and clarity. While not every dream carries prophetic significance, some arrive with a profound sense of meaning, leaving a lasting impression upon the heart. If you experience such a dream or impression tonight, receive it with discernment and reverence, seeking understanding through prayer and reflection. Divine proof does not demand blind belief. It invites you into a deeper relationship with God, where faith and understanding grow together in harmony. As this sacred hour approaches, it is important to prepare your heart to receive what heaven is about to reveal. Create a moment of stillness. Release distractions. Quiet your thoughts, and open your spirit to God's presence. This is not a time of fear or anxiety, but of expectation and faith. You are not waiting for coincidence. You are anticipating confirmation. The proof God provides will resonate with truth, bringing clarity where there was confusion and assurance where there was doubt. It will not leave you uncertain or unsettled. It will affirm your identity as one who is chosen and called according to His purpose. Remember, divine proof is deeply personal. God speaks to each of His chosen in ways that align with their hearts, their journeys, and their spiritual understanding. What He reveals to you may differ from the experiences of others, yet it will carry the unmistakable mark of His presence. Trust the authenticity of what you receive, and allow it to strengthen your faith. Tonight, before 11:55 p.m., heaven will draw near to confirm what has always been true, that your life is not accidental, your journey is not random, and your calling is not imagined. Stand ready in faith, for the revelation you have long awaited is near. The whispers of doubt that once clouded your spirit will give way to clarity and peace, replaced by the assurance of God's unwavering promise. As the final minutes approach, remember that you are not merely observing a moment, you are stepping into a divine appointment. God is faithful to His word, and tonight, He will prove what He has spoken over your life. Receive this truth with humility and expectation, for the proof is coming, and with it, an unshakable confirmation that you are chosen. As the sacred hour draws closer and the minutes gently slip toward 11:55 p.m., a holy stillness begins to settle over this moment. This is not merely the passing of time. It is a prophetic threshold, a divine invitation into alignment with heaven's purpose. God has spoken with clarity. You are chosen, but you keep doubting. Now, before the appointed time arrives, He calls you to prepare your heart for a spiritual activation that will awaken your faith and affirm your identity. This is your moment of preparation, your sacred pause before revelation, where heaven meets earth and destiny is awakened within your spirit. Prophetic activation is not an abstract concept. It is a divine encounter that stirs the soul, ignites faith, and aligns your life with God's will. It is the moment when spiritual awareness deepens, when doubt begins to dissolve, and when the chosen step into the assurance of their calling. Tonight, as the clock approaches 11:55 p.m., you are invited into this sacred activation. It is a call to quiet the noise of the world, to release every burden of uncertainty, and to open your heart fully to the presence of God. In this stillness, His voice becomes clear, His peace becomes tangible, and His promise becomes undeniable. Begin by centering your heart in reverence. Take a deep breath and allow the distractions of the day to fade away. This is a holy moment, set apart for divine communion. As you prepare yourself, recognize that you are not alone. Heaven is near, and the presence of God surrounds you. Let your spirit rest in the assurance that you have been guided to this moment with divine precision. The same God who has preserved you through trials, strengthened you in seasons of doubt, and carried you through uncertainty is now inviting you into deeper alignment with His purpose. As part of this prophetic activation, declare with confidence the truth that God has spoken over your life. Speak it aloud or whisper it within your heart. I am chosen. I am called. I am appointed by God. Let these words resonate within your spirit, replacing every whisper of doubt with unwavering faith. Your declaration is not merely a statement. It is an act of spiritual alignment, a recognition of the identity heaven has already bestowed upon you. With each word you speak, chains of uncertainty begin to break, and clarity begins to rise like the dawn after a long night. Prayer is the gateway through which this activation unfolds. Lift your heart to God and invite His presence into this moment. You may pray in your own words or simply rest in silent communion, allowing His peace to fill your spirit. Offer Him your doubts, your fears, and your uncertainties, trusting that He will replace them with assurance and strength. In this sacred exchange, heaven responds with grace, pouring out comfort, clarity, and divine confirmation. Tonight, as you pray, believe that your voice is heard and your heart is seen, for God draws near to those who seek Him with sincerity and faith. This prophetic activation is also a moment of surrender. Release the weight of self-doubt, the fear of inadequacy, and the hesitation that has followed you for so long. Surrender your uncertainties to God, trusting that His purpose is greater than your fears and His power is stronger than your limitations. As you let go, you create space for divine assurance to enter your life. What once felt uncertain will become clear, and what once seemed distant will become tangible. In surrender, you discover the peace that comes from trusting God's perfect plan. As the minutes continue to pass, remain attentive to the gentle movements of the Spirit. You may sense a deep peace settling over your heart, a quiet joy rising within your soul, or a profound awareness of God's presence surrounding you. These are sacred indicators of divine alignment, signs that heaven is responding to your openness and faith. Do not dismiss these moments as ordinary. Receive them with gratitude and reverence, recognizing them as evidence of God's nearness and love. Now, as this prophetic activation reaches its sacred peak, Embrace the truth that you are not merely preparing for revelation, you are stepping into it. The hours leading to 11:55 p.m. were not marked by fear or uncertainty, but by expectation and faith. This is your appointed time, your divine moment of alignment, where doubt gives way to assurance and destiny begins to unfold. Heaven is responding to your faith, and the confirmation you seek is drawing near. Type "I receive my calling" in the comments if this resonates with you. Blessing code 888 is now activated. As you hold on to this sacred moment, remember that what follows will bring clarity to every question and confirmation to every promise. The next revelation will illuminate the path ahead and empower you to walk boldly in your divine assignment. Hold this truth close to your heart, for what is about to be revealed will deepen your faith and strengthen your spirit in ways you have never imagined. You will be grateful that you remain present for what heaven is about to unveil. As this prophetic activation awakens your spirit and aligns you with your divine calling, you now have the opportunity to help carry this message of hope to countless souls around the world. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or PayPal becomes a river of light, flowing into hearts that are searching for truth and reassurance. The Lord declares to you, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." And tonight this promise breathes life into your obedience. I invite you to stand with this mission and become a vessel through which God's word reaches those who feel lost, doubtful, or forgotten. As you give, may the windows of heaven open over your life, releasing favor, provision, and divine increase. Your generosity is not a donation. It is a prophetic act of faith, igniting revival and preparing a harvest of transformed lives. Sow your seed now through super thanks, join as a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description or the QR code flashing on your screen. Step forward in obedience and release your offering today. As the sacred moments continue to unfold and the anticipation of divine confirmation lingers in the air, a profound question rises within your spirit. How will you respond when God proves that you are chosen? Revelation is not merely meant to be received. It is meant to be embraced, lived, and carried forward with faith and courage. Tonight, as heaven draws near to confirm your identity, you stand at a pivotal threshold, not only of recognition but of response. God has spoken, and the truth has been revealed. You are chosen. And now, your response becomes the bridge between revelation and destiny. To respond to the divine calling is to accept the truth that has been spoken over your life, even when your past whispers uncertainty. It is an act of faith, a decision to trust God's voice above every doubt that has ever shadowed your journey. Your response does not require perfection or extraordinary strength. It requires willingness. God does not seek flawless vessels but open hearts. When you say yes to His calling, you align yourself with a purpose greater than your fears and step into a destiny shaped by His divine will. Tonight, as confirmation unfolds, your yes becomes a declaration of faith that echoes beyond this moment into eternity. Responding to God's calling also means walking boldly despite lingering uncertainty. Faith is not the absence of doubt but the courage to move forward in spite of it. You may not yet see the full picture of your purpose, and the path ahead may seem unfamiliar, but obedience opens doors that doubt can never unlock. Each step you take in faith strengthens your confidence and deepens your trust in God's guidance. Remember, the chosen are not called to stand still. They are called to move forward, to carry light into darkness, and to bring hope where it is needed most. Your response is the beginning of that journey. Embracing your divine calling also invites transformation. As you accept your identity as one who is chosen, you begin to see yourself through God's eyes. No longer defined by fear or uncertainty, you step into a new perspective shaped by faith, purpose, and spiritual authority. This transformation does not happen overnight. It unfolds gradually as you continue to trust, obey, and grow in your relationship with God. With each step of obedience, you shed the weight of doubt and embrace the confidence that comes from knowing you are guided by divine wisdom. Your life becomes a testimony of grace, a reflection of God's power working through you. Another essential aspect of responding to God's calling is sharing His light with others. You were not chosen merely for your own blessing, but to become a vessel of hope, encouragement, and truth. There are souls who are struggling with doubt, hearts searching for reassurance, and lives waiting to be touched by the message you carry. When you embrace your calling, you become a messenger of faith, extending God's love and guidance to those in need. Your testimony has the power to inspire, uplift, and transform, reminding others that they too are seen, known, and chosen by God. If this message is stirring your spirit and affirming your identity, take a moment to respond in faith. Like this video as a declaration of agreement with God's calling over your life. Share it with someone who may be wrestling with doubt, so they too can receive the reassurance they need. Leave a comment declaring, "I am chosen," and let your testimony become a beacon of hope for others around the world. And if you have not already done so, subscribe to this channel and join a growing community dedicated to spreading God's word, prophetic insight, and spiritual encouragement. Your engagement is more than an action. It is an act of faith that helps carry this message to hearts that are searching for divine truth. As you continue to reflect on this sacred revelation, remember that your response shapes your journey. Each act of faith, no matter how small, strengthens your connection to God and deepens your understanding of His purpose. You may not know every detail of what lies ahead, but you can trust the one who has called you. He will guide your steps, illuminate your path, and provide the wisdom and strength you need to fulfill your assignment. Your obedience becomes the vessel through which His promises are revealed, and your faith becomes the foundation upon which your destiny is built. Responding to the divine calling also requires courage, the courage to release the past, to overcome fear, and to embrace the future with confidence. You are not alone in this journey. God walks beside you, strengthening your spirit and guiding your path. When you step forward in faith, you do so with the assurance that heaven is supporting you and that your life is aligned with a purpose greater than you can imagine. Every act of obedience draws you closer to the fulfillment of your calling and deepens your awareness of God's presence in your life. Tonight, as the final moments approach and the promise of divine confirmation becomes reality, let your response be one of unwavering faith and wholehearted surrender. Say yes to the calling that has pursued you, yes to the purpose that has shaped your journey, and yes to the destiny that awaits you. Embrace your identity as one who is chosen, and walk boldly in the truth that God has spoken over your life. Your response is not merely a reaction. It is a declaration, a commitment, and a step into the fullness of your divine assignment. Hold on to this truth, for what follows will break the chains of doubt forever and empower you to walk in confidence and authority. The next revelation will unveil the final transformation that awaits those who fully embrace their calling. Stay open, remain faithful, and prepare your heart, for what comes next will strengthen your spirit and confirm the divine purpose written upon your life. There comes a moment in every chosen life when doubt loses its grip and truth rises with undeniable clarity. This is that moment. You have journeyed through uncertainty, questioned your worth, and wrestled with fears that whispered you were unqualified. Yet tonight, as the divine revelation draws nearer, you stand at the threshold of transformation. The chains of doubt that once bound your spirit are ready to be broken, not by your own strength, but by the power and promise of God. You are chosen, and no whisper of uncertainty can overturn what heaven has already declared. Doubt is a subtle bondage. It does not always appear as fear or hesitation. Sometimes it disguises itself as humility, caution, or self-reflection. While these qualities can be valuable, doubt becomes a chain when it causes you to shrink from your purpose or question the identity God has spoken over you. For too long, it may have restrained your confidence, silenced your voice, and delayed your destiny. But tonight, you are called to recognize that doubt has never defined you. It has only been a temporary shadow, powerless in the presence of divine truth. The moment you embrace God's calling, those chains begin to fall away. Breaking the chains of doubt begins with renewing your mind and embracing the truth of your divine identity. You are not who your fears say you are. You are not defined by your past mistakes, your moments of hesitation, or the limitations others may have placed upon you. You are defined by the one who created you, called you, and appointed you for his purpose. When God declares that you are chosen, his word becomes your reality. He is unchanging, unwavering, and eternal. Tonight, as you receive this revelation, allow his truth to replace every lie that has clouded your vision. Let faith rise where doubt once lingered, and let confidence emerge from the certainty of his promise. Another step toward breaking free from doubt is releasing the burdens of the past. There may be memories of failure, rejection, or disappointment that have shaped your perception of yourself and your calling. These experiences, though painful, were never meant to define you. They were seasons of preparation, moments of refinement that strengthened your character and deepened your faith. God does not hold your past against you. He transforms it into a testimony of his grace. As you release these burdens into his hands, you create space for healing, restoration, and renewed purpose. Tonight, let the weight of yesterday fall away and step forward with the assurance that your future is secure in God's plan. Faith is the key that unlocks freedom from doubt. It is not the absence of uncertainty, but the decision to trust God's voice above every fear. When you choose faith, you align your heart with divine truth and open yourself to the fullness of his promise. Each step of obedience strengthens your confidence and affirms your identity as one who is chosen. You may not see the entire path ahead, but you can trust the one who leads you. His guidance is faithful, his presence is constant, and his purpose for your life is unshakable. In faith, doubt loses its power, and destiny begins to unfold with clarity and purpose. As you stand in this moment of transformation, speak words of affirmation over your life. Declare with conviction, I am chosen by God. I am called according to his purpose. I release all doubt and embrace my divine identity. Let these words resonate within your spirit, breaking every chain that has held you back. Your declaration is more than a statement. It is an act of spiritual authority, a proclamation of truth that aligns your heart with heaven's will. When you speak these words in faith, you invite divine strength to fill your spirit and guide your steps. Breaking the chains of doubt also requires courage, the courage to step forward despite uncertainty and to embrace the calling that awaits you. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to trust God beyond it. You may feel apprehensive about the path ahead, unsure of what lies beyond this moment of revelation. Yet remember that you do not walk alone. God's presence surrounds you, his Spirit strengthens you, and his promises sustain you. With each step you take in faith, you move further from doubt and closer to the fulfillment of your destiny. Tonight, as the sacred hour approaches, allow this transformation to take root within your heart. The chains that once restrained you are no match for the power of divine truth. You are not bound by fear, hesitation, or uncertainty. You are free. Free to walk boldly in your calling, free to embrace your purpose, and free to live in the assurance of God's unwavering love. This freedom is not temporary. It is a lasting victory, a testament to the strength and faithfulness of the one who has chosen you. As you reflect on this revelation, recognize that your journey is a testimony of divine grace. Every struggle you have faced, every doubt you have overcome, and every moment of faith you have embraced has led you to this sacred turning point. The chains of doubt are broken, and in their place rises a new confidence rooted in God's promise. You are no longer defined by uncertainty but by the truth of your divine identity. Tonight marks the end of hesitation and the beginning of boldness, the end of fear and the dawn of unwavering faith. Carry this freedom with you as you continue your journey. Let it shape your thoughts, guide your actions, and inspire your purpose. You are chosen, and nothing can alter what God has ordained. The path ahead is illuminated by His presence, and the future that awaits you is filled with promise, clarity, and divine favor. As the final moments approach and heaven prepares to confirm His word, stand firm in your identity and walk forward with courage and confidence. The chains of doubt have been broken forever, and you are stepping into the fullness of your destiny. As the final minutes draw near and the clock approaches 11:55 p.m., a sacred stillness settles over this moment, a stillness filled not with silence, but with anticipation. This is the hour of confirmation, the appointed time when heaven draws near to affirm what has already been spoken over your life. God declared, "You are chosen, but you keep doubting, and now, as midnight approaches, He prepares to prove it to you." This is not coincidence, nor is it imagination. It is divine alignment, a holy intersection where faith meets revelation and where doubt gives way to undeniable truth. Midnight has long carried profound spiritual symbolism. Throughout history and scripture, it represents transition, awakening, and divine intervention. It is the hour when chains are broken, when prayers are answered, and when heaven moves in ways unseen yet unmistakably powerful. In the quiet of the night, distractions fade, and the heart becomes receptive to the voice of God. As you approach this sacred moment, recognize that you are standing at a spiritual threshold, a crossing between what was and what is about to be revealed. This is the hour of divine confirmation, the moment when God's promise becomes personal, real, and undeniable. You may feel a gentle stirring within your spirit, a quiet awareness that something significant is unfolding. This awareness is not anxiety, it is expectancy. It is the anticipation of a promise fulfilled, the recognition that heaven is drawing near to affirm your calling. The proof you seek may not arrive with thunder or spectacle. Instead, it may come as a profound sense of peace, an unexpected message that speaks directly to your heart, or a sudden clarity that settles within your spirit like light breaking through the darkness. However it manifests, you will recognize it, for it will carry the unmistakable imprint of divine presence. Throughout your life, there have been moments when God revealed His hand in subtle yet powerful ways, moments when you felt protected, guided, and reassured. Tonight, those scattered experiences converge into a single, sacred confirmation. The patterns of your journey, the trials you endured, and the strength you discovered along the way all point to this truth: you were chosen. Every challenge you overcame and every obstacle you faced served as preparation for this very moment. Nothing was wasted, and nothing was without purpose. Heaven has watched over you, guided you, and brought you to this appointed hour of revelation. As the clock approaches 11:55 p.m., prepare your heart to receive what God is about to reveal. Quiet your mind, release your expectations, and rest in the assurance of His presence. This is not a time of fear but of faith, not a moment of uncertainty but of confirmation. Allow yourself to be fully present, attentive to the gentle movements of the Spirit. Whether the proof arrives through a feeling of peace, a meaningful encounter, or a sudden realization, trust that it is divinely orchestrated. God speaks to each of His chosen in ways that resonate uniquely with their hearts, and tonight, His message will be unmistakably clear. Remember that divine confirmation often comes in quiet and personal ways. It may not be visible to others, but it will be deeply real to you. It may appear as a scripture that speaks directly to your circumstances, a word of encouragement that arrives at the perfect moment, or a dream that leaves a lasting impression upon your spirit. It may come as a sense of clarity that replaces confusion, or a peace that settles upon your heart like a gentle embrace. However it arrives, it will affirm what heaven has declared from the beginning, that you are chosen, called, and appointed according to God's purpose. This midnight confirmation is not merely a moment, it is a turning point. It marks the transition from doubt to assurance, from hesitation to confidence, and from questioning to knowing. As the final minutes of the day fade into the stillness of night, you step into a new season of clarity and purpose. The revelation you receive tonight will not only affirm your identity, but will also strengthen your faith and guide your path forward. It is a sacred reminder that God's promises are faithful, His timing is perfect, and His calling is irrevocable. Stand ready with an open heart and a spirit of expectation. Let every whisper of doubt fall away, replaced by the certainty of divine truth. As you await this sacred confirmation, remember that you are not alone. Heaven is near, and God's presence surrounds you with love, assurance, and peace. The same voice that has guided you through every season of your life now speaks with clarity and authority, affirming your identity and revealing your purpose. As midnight approaches, embrace this moment with reverence and faith. The proof you have long awaited is not distant, it is near, unfolding in accordance with divine timing. Whether it arrives as a quiet revelation or a profound spiritual encounter, receive it with gratitude and humility. Allow it to strengthen your faith, deepen your trust, and affirm your calling. Tonight marks the fulfillment of a promise, a sacred confirmation that your life is not accidental but divinely appointed. When the clock reaches 11:55 p.m., pause and reflect on the journey that has led you to this moment. Breathe deeply, open your heart, and receive the assurance that heaven offers. Let peace settle upon your spirit, and allow clarity to illuminate your path. This is your midnight confirmation, a sacred affirmation that God has chosen you, guided you, and prepared you for a purpose greater than you can imagine. Stand in faith, embrace the revelation, and step forward with confidence, for the truth has been spoken, the promise has been fulfilled, and the confirmation is yours. Tonight you have walked through a sacred journey, a journey from doubt to revelation, from uncertainty to confirmation, from questioning to knowing. The message has been clear and unwavering. God is saying, you are chosen, but you keep doubting. And before 11:55 p.m., He promised to prove it to you. Now, as this divine encounter reaches its fulfillment, pause and reflect on what has unfolded within your spirit. Something has shifted. Something has awakened. The weight of uncertainty has grown lighter, and in its place stands a quiet but powerful assurance. You are chosen. From the very beginning of your life, heaven marked you with purpose. Every trial you endured, every obstacle you overcame, and every moment of divine protection was evidence of God's hand upon you. Even your seasons of doubt served a purpose. They refined your faith, humbled your heart, and prepared you to receive this confirmation with gratitude and reverence. Nothing was wasted. Not a single tear, not a single question, not a single delay. All of it was woven together into a divine tapestry that has led you to this sacred moment of revelation. You may still carry questions about the future. You may not yet see every detail of the path ahead. But what you now hold is something far greater than a map. It is assurance. It is the unshakable truth that God's calling upon your life is real, intentional, and irrevocable. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen by the Creator of heaven and earth, appointed for a purpose that extends beyond what you can see or imagine. This truth stands firm, unaltered by circumstances and untouched by doubt. As you move forward from this moment, carry this revelation with confidence. When doubt attempts to return, remember tonight. Remember the peace that settled over you, the clarity that illuminated your thoughts, and the confirmation that resonated within your spirit. Let this memory become an anchor for your faith, a reminder that God speaks, God confirms, and God fulfills His promises. You are not walking alone. The same divine presence that guided you to this message will continue to guide your steps in the days ahead. Now, step boldly into your identity. Walk as one who knows they are chosen. Speak with the confidence of someone who had been called. Live with the faith of someone who had been confirmed. The world needs the light you carry, the hope you embody, and the faith you have embraced. There are lives waiting to be touched by your obedience, hearts longing for the encouragement you can offer, and paths that will be illuminated by your courage. Do not shrink back. Do not hesitate. Embrace your calling fully, knowing that heaven stands behind you. Tonight has not only been about revelation, it has been about activation. The proof you sought has arrived, and now the journey continues. Let your life become a testimony of divine faithfulness. Let your actions reflect the confidence of someone who knows they are chosen. And when challenges arise, remember that they do not contradict your calling, they refine it. God's hand remains upon you, guiding, protecting, and strengthening you every step of the way. Type "I walk in my calling" in the comments if you receive this message with faith. Blessing code 999 is now activated. May peace rest upon your heart. May clarity guide your mind. May courage strengthen your spirit. And may the assurance of God's love surround you in every season. You are chosen, not because of perfection, but because of purpose. Not because of strength, but because of grace. Not because of chance, but because of divine intention. As this sacred message concludes, let gratitude fill your heart. Thank God for His faithfulness, His patience, and His unwavering love. Thank Him for speaking when you doubted, for confirming when you questioned, and for guiding when you were uncertain. Let this moment mark a new beginning, a chapter defined not by hesitation, but by bold faith and unwavering trust. The journey does not end here. It continues with you, walking, speaking, and living as one who has been divinely chosen. Stand firm in this truth. Embrace it fully, and step into the future with confidence, knowing that the one who called you is faithful to complete what He has begun. You are chosen. You are called. You are confirmed. And tonight, heaven has proven it. As this message seals the truth that you are chosen and confirmed by God, now is your moment to help carry this light to others who are still wrestling with doubt. When you sow through Super Thanks, become a member, or give through PayPal, you are not supporting a channel, you are fueling a harvest of souls. The Lord speaks over you. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy, and your seed tonight becomes living water for someone else's dry season. I am inviting you personally to stand with this mission and become a co-laborer in spreading God's prophetic word across the nations. As you release your offering, may open heavens follow you, May favor pursue you, and may increase locate you. This is not a casual gift. It is a prophetic act of obedience that echoes in eternity. The PayPal link is in the description, and the QR code is on your screen. Move now in faith. Sow your seed and let your obedience speak.